Good evening, and thanks for clicking on to the slightly late edition of Vogan's European Outlook for Thursday, the 9th of January. And we do have potentially some of the coldest nights of the entire winter so far kicking in tonight and tomorrow night in particular. We may even see colder than the upcoming night as winds remain still a little bit brisk out there. We've still got wintry showers moving in from the north and the west. We've seen a shutdown of Manchester Airport a little earlier. We've seen some significant snow in parts of Donegal, for example, and even across far southern England, anywhere from Dartmoor all the way across the southern half of England, we've seen some accumulating snow. So, yeah, listen, it's nowhere near as bad as what we've seen in years gone by any stretch, but nonetheless, we've not been too bad this cold spell in terms of snow as well as cold temperatures. But I just literally came across this here. This was a post on my Facebook fan page back on the 23rd of January 2013, and you could see how much of Europe was covered in snow back then. And look at the UK, pretty much completely white. So, as much as this may be for some, what's the big deal, but others, oh, this is certainly an impressive cold spell. It is no great shakes compared to what we've seen away back in 2013, and this is a visible satellite imagery of the same period back then as well. So with a pretty widespread UK snow cover, but this is incidentally the situation that we've got at the moment here with regards to snow covered ground and visible satellite imagery of NASA. So if we look at this here, this is for Scotland. This is a tweet here by Nick's Weather Eye showing a beautiful visible satellite imagery of clear skies and the snow covered ground, covering a decent amount of snow over Scotland, especially north of the central belt here. But even still, we can still see whites here, thin coverings of snow, even at the lower elevations. You can see the significant amounts of snow over northern portions of England. Look at Northern Ireland as well, seeing a fairly decent amount at Donegal, but also the far south of Ireland, picking up on some significant snow as well. This is the view for England, Wales, and Ireland, and you can see that swath of snow across interior southern Republic of Ireland. We've got over a decent swath of Wales, if you notice here, and then from the North Midlands northwards, we've got a decent covering of snow, and even the far south of England as well, with that snow system moving through the channel. We've seen some wintry precipitation on the northern side of that circulation. This is I don't actually have numbers for England, unfortunately, but this is the snow depths according to Highland Weather Network for Scotland anyway, and we've got a pretty decent amount of snow across, particularly northwest Highland, for example, 26 centimetres sitting at Loch Liscarnock at the moment, even 1 centimetre at Stornoway, 14 at Altnahara, 13 at Aviemore, 11 at Furset, which is the Tulloch Bridge area. We've got 5 at the Aboyne, and we've got 7 at the Aberdeen Dice Airport. Even Bishopton sitting at the 1 centimetre, while Eskdalemuir is at 4 centimetres of lion snow. This is the current temperatures this morning, or should I say right now. I was thinking about the lows from this morning while I said that. So, but you can see here quite widespread temperatures hovering a degree or two either side of the freezing mark. Now, high pressure is going to start to build its way in. We will then see skies becoming much clearer, and also we're going to see the winds dropping off as well. So that snow-covered ground, that refrigeration effect on the atmosphere, is going to then become maximized as we see the winds drop off, and then we'll see the skies become clearer as that high starts to bodily build in over the top of the UK and Ireland. But I think while tonight is going to see a run at minus 15 Celsius quite easily, I do then think that with an ice day quite widely across central and northern UK, the stage is set even more so tomorrow evening as the refrigeration effect basically becomes enhanced with sub-freezing air, before sunset, and then as the atmosphere then it starts to work on that snow cover, we start to continue to lose heat to the atmosphere and the space. We're going to see the temperatures dropping off into that kind of minus 15 to minus 20 Celsius range. But you can see off the GFS model here, that area of high pressure then kind of settles in as we progress through the overnight tonight. So that's the reasons why I don't think temperatures are going to be quite as cold tonight as opposed to tomorrow night, because it's going to take time for the atmosphere to become primed for maximum radiational cooling to take place. But you notice here that we've got a frontal system waiting in the wings far southwest, also across west and southwest Ireland as we progress through the course of tomorrow. But it is going to be a cold day tomorrow under clear skies. But despite plenty of sunshine, we are going to see temperatures really struggle to get above the freezing mark. And then it's as we progress through the course of later tomorrow into tomorrow evening, we've got the high pressure in place. All the ingredients are there. That is where the temperatures are going to really tumble away very, very quickly indeed. So you can see here, even at Marfogan Weather HQ, sitting at 1.6 Celsius, but we've got a breeze blowing out of the west northwest. That's keeping the temperature up. And the overall air mass itself, while we once the high pressure settles in, -6 to -8 Celsius at 5,000 feet is plenty conducive to see temperatures drop to the lowest levels in a few years for the UK as well as Ireland. But when you've got a breeze blowing, the temperature is above the freezing mark, and therefore it emphasizes the point that this is a polar maritime air as opposed to a continental air mass, which tends to be actually colder. Once you get those 850s into the -10 to -15 Celsius range, for example, you could have a gale blowing and the temperature could be -2, -3, -4 with wind chills, -15, -20 Celsius. That's what was seen back in February of 2018 when we had the beast from the east. We had such a cold, dry air mass in place that we had temperatures well below freezing despite having a very strong, if not gale force, wind blowing in off the North Sea. The conditions have been somewhat marginal over the last few days with that west northwest wind. We've had a slight mixing of slightly less cold air, which has been meaning that we've allowed rain to fall at low levels, and even some low levels away from the coast. We've even seen a mix of rain and sleet as well, as that air mass has been kind of borderline. But that is the big difference, really, when you've got a northwesterly polar maritime airflow as opposed to a cold continental airflow. We have quite a different story altogether. But nonetheless, the snow depths across the UK not too bad considering what we have at the moment. And given recent years as well, I've seen one comment actually. I'm trying my best not to bite too quickly on things. It's your comments are very much welcome, and I do greatly appreciate that. Constructive criticism I'm very much open to. But I noticed one person saying about how why would I be surprised at this spell returning back to milder once again, based on the fact that we've had an overall warming trend. I totally get that. I'm talking about the here and now. I'm not talking about a longer term trend, which is obviously on the warmer side of things compared to the last 30 years or so. But based on the timing of this switch from cold back to mild, it's a little bit earlier than what I initially thought. But it is no real surprise either. I did expect to see a change to something less cold during the second half of January, basically given the fact that we've got the various parameters in place, including the West QBO. We've got the strengthening of the polar vortex. We've got that coupling now between troposphere and stratosphere, which looks as if we're going to see the response to a more positive Arctic oscillation, North Atlantic oscillation. There's very much everything's kind of swaying towards the milder side of things. North America, on the other hand, we could see the cold linger eastern North America all the way through the majority of the rest of this month. Would not surprise me if we start to fire up the jet stream and actually see some stormier weather moving in during the second half of the month. That's something that I'm paying close attention to, especially with that rotation through phases 1, 2, and 3 of the MJO. Phase 3 tends to promote more in the way of storminess over Western Europe. But given the overall ideas, I think things are playing out very, very nicely indeed. But look at these drifts here. This is from Chris at Braemar, Ballater, D side, and Dawn side weather. Beautiful drifting as we've got the gale force or strong winds at the very least over the Strathdon area of Aberdeenshire. Incredible scenes here, in fact. Great pictures here from Chris of his location at Rough Park in Aberdeenshire, in the Dawn side area near Braemar. But this is a testament to the wind and the snow that we've had over the last 8 or 9 days of January. I'll get there. This is from Jane McDonough showing the A9 between Helmsdale and Brora back earlier on today. So pretty nasty conditions. We've seen this replicated across many Highland roads in recent days. The snow covered ground, blowing, drifting. I've been up and down the A9 pretty much every night myself, so I know exactly what it's like. And yeah, this is going to be the case. Look at this here. I don't know whereabouts this is, but this is from Lee. Posted this at Highland and Islands Weather, showing the quite a deep snow cover, especially off the road. But we've got a slushy covering and tracks along the actual immediate road itself. I'm not sure if this is out towards Ullapool or what. I'm not entirely sure. But these are the scenes that we're seeing in many portions of the UK, and obviously the far south of England. We've been seeing some significant snow, as well as the Manchester area, where we've had some pretty nasty conditions at the airport, for example, shutting down air travel during the course of today as well. But it'll be interesting to see how cold it gets over the next couple of nights. This is some images coming out of Dartmoor of the snow in Princetown, I think it is. This is from UK Weather Chase, showing the snowy conditions in the higher elevations of southwestern England during the past 24 hours or so. Let's see if I can find anything else here. This is from Devon, some snowy scenes also. So yeah, we're certainly seeing wintry conditions. It might not be a UK snow cover. It might not be the levels that we've seen back in 2019 or anything like that. But certainly we are seeing wintry conditions bite, and schools remarkably closed up here, given the fact that I'm only measuring 2 centimeters here at the house. It absolutely flabbergasts me how the schools are shut down when you've got such little snow. It just shows you how wimpy, and I know people are going to jump on this, but it just shows you how wimpy the society has become when you're shutting down schools with such little amounts of snow. But this is off the Met Office model here, real quick, showing the conditions over the next little while. In fact, let's go to the current let's go to the current radar here, and you can see that we've got the showers continuing to blow in that northerly flow into parts of Aberdeenshire, into Chris's neighbourhood in the Strathdon area. We're seeing it over Caithness, Sutherland, Ross Sharp, and then as we pan through, high and dry largely across central southern Scotland, northern England. Under the clear skies, light winds, we are going to see probably double digits, by the way, below freezing over that snow cover over Ireland. We're seeing some of these feeder bands, these streamers moving in across parts of North and Mid Wales as well. We've seen that over through the Cheshire Gap during the course of today, and then we had the snow across parts of far southern England through the past day or so. But we are going to be seeing some cold numbers as we progress through the next couple of nights here, as I say, and then we're going to gradually, very gradually, start to pull out of this. So this is as we move through the course of early tomorrow morning, we'll start to see the winds dropping off, the sky's nice and clear, and you notice here that the showers are very much pegged back to the immediate coast, largely over inland areas. We've got the largely clear skies and light winds, and therefore the temperatures are going to drop like a stone. So how cold are we going to see? Let's have a look and see real quick. So this is this evening. So just come across. So double digits below freezing to the west of Inverness over interior Highland Scotland. As you can see, we've got double figures below freezing across far northern England, possibly North Wales, possibly the Midlands of England, and even across parts of Northern Ireland, we may see close to double digits below freezing during the course of tonight and into tomorrow morning. This is by the time we reach 07Z Friday tomorrow morning, minus 14 in the northwest. I'm still keeping an eye on those temperatures up towards the Loch Liscarnock area. If they get cold enough, I may take a little trip after night shift tonight and get some photographs and maybe do a little live shot from there we'll wait and see what happens anyway. But it's as we continue to play through the course of tomorrow, temperatures will remain, especially in the Straths and Glens, temperatures remain below freezing all day long. Even northern portions of England, where you've got lie and snow, it's going to stay below freezing, I think, during the course of tomorrow. And then as we move into the early evening tomorrow, the temperatures are going to drop like a stone, and that is our greatest chance at seeing -20 somewhere in the northern half of the UK. But we'll wait and see what happens. It looks as if -14, 15, 16 is showing up in the Met Office model here. But we'll see just how much the temperature does drop during the course of tonight. Remember, it's not going to beat -23 that was set back in the 11th of February 2021 by any stretch. That was the coldest February night since the 1950s. It was also the coldest night UK wide at all since December 1995. So we're not in that ballpark by any stretch. Let's finally look at some of the modeling here with regards to the temperature anomalies. So this is the upcoming 7 days according to the CFS V2. Get back to the right chart. So we are warming things up. Look at this here. Still staying below normal across the southeast. As the high slips to the south, we're going to pick up a southwesterly wind. That is going to allow the milder air to move in even at 8 to 5,000 feet above our heads. And then that warming is going to gradually mix down to the surface, allowing the temperatures sub-freezing during the course of tomorrow to perhaps close to the freezing mark Saturday, 7, 8 Celsius during the course of Sunday, and then double figures above the freezing mark by the time we reach Monday. That is the kind of trend as we move through Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Particularly across the north, it's going to be slower to see that cold air getting mixed out across underneath that high pressure over the southeast of the UK. But you can see here these warm anomalies, most prominent Ireland, Northern Ireland, and Scotland. And then as we move into week 2 of the CFSV2, we're firmly warmer than average. This is how the month of January is looking so far. I should have had this up, so I apologize for not being prepared. And then I'm going to round up because I need to head off to work for my nightly drive down the A9 to Glasgow. It'll be interesting to see how the dashboard is reading tonight. The lowest I think I've seen so far, including last night, is -9. The coldest I've ever seen on the dashboard is -16. And then back in February 2021, I did see -21 Celsius on the car when I was up at the Kinbrace. That was what an incredible night of cold that was. But this is the temperature anomaly through the first 9 days of January. UK firmly colder than average, but even more so across Ireland, if you notice. Iceland, Norway, Sweden, and Finland colder than average, but the majority of the heart of Europe is warmer than average, as can be seen here. But it'll be interesting to see. This is how it's looking through the first 9 days. Following the next 9 days to follow, this is going to get chipped away. By the time we reach the end of January, if it stays on the milder side of things, we'll see if it ends up being a warmer than average month of January overall. So lots to play for. Keep it right here in the channel. Like and subscribe. See you tomorrow with more. Bye.